Hey guys, in this video I am going to be talking about the healthiest options to feed your dog. I know people really love their dog and it's always their intention to provide their dog with the very best food that they can. But even with that intention, sometimes people feed food to their dog that is really bad for them. So stay tuned for the rest of this video, which is going to be talking about what raw diet is, the myths that surround raw diet, and why raw diet is the best choice for dogs.
I'm Megan with Happy Tails Pet Care, and I'm a professional pet expert and nutrition consultant. My goal is to educate people about animals and help pet owners provide the best care to their beloved pets. See a pet in my video you like? Let me know, and I will feature that pet in more videos.
Raw diet is the absolutely best thing that you can do for your dog. Not only are there many health benefits that come from feeding your dog a raw diet, the studies have shown that a raw diet will actually increase the life expectancy of a dog by 3 years. But first things first, what is a raw diet? A raw diet is fresh food for your dog that is not processed. The simplest explanation is that you stay away from kibble completely and your dog is never fed any type of dry dog food, kibble, or any of that packaged dog food. Depending on how somebody wants to go about it, the food can either be served raw or it can be cooked. Not everybody serves the meat raw, but it is still considered a raw diet because there's no processed kibble. This comes down to your dog's preferences and your dog's needs. So raw diet just means no kibble, but there are different ways to go about it, which I will get into later. So let's talk about why you would want to feed your dog a raw diet. Real food is more natural to eat than processed food. Dogs have evolved to eat real food, not processed food out of a bag. Most people don't realize that kibble's actually only been around about 80 years and people didn't start buying it immediately. Ask your parents and your grandparents what they fed their dog and you might be surprised to find out that kibble has not been a thing for very long. So to really understand why a raw diet is better, you need to understand why kibble is something you don't want to feed your dog. For the most part, kibble has terrible ingredients. Cheaper brands will mostly consist of corn and other fillers. Corn is not something that you want to feed your dog. It is not something they would naturally eat, and they have a very hard time digesting corn. Most dogs are actually allergic to corn and suffer many health issues because of a corn-based diet. Now, companies have realized that people are looking more closely at what they're feeding and reading the ingredients list, and they've gotten smart about this. People look at a bag of dog food, and when they're reading the ingredient list, they want to see meat as one of the first products on that list, which makes sense because you want your dog's food to be mostly made of meat. So these companies have started this thing called ingredient splitting. In reality, the meat percentage in the food might be a lot lower than what you're expecting because they split the ingredients into different categories. For example, peas should be listed once, but instead they're split into pea powder and peas, and that already creates two different categories. And the same goes for many other ingredients, which by the end of all of that moves beef to the very top of the list. Another thing to remember is that labeling is done before the food is processed. A lot of the meat is water, which is taken out through processing, making the percentage of meat actually quite a bit lower. And after all of that, the process of turning food into kibble does strip the food of all of its nutrients. So by the time you pour this into your dog's bowl, there isn't much of anything good that's left in it. And of course, there are other issues with kibble. Aflatoxin B1 is a mold that has been found in kibble quite a lot. There are always recalls because of salmonella. And Blue Buffalo was in a lawsuit for having advertised their food as much better than it actually was. And it is also negatively affecting your dog in some way. With some dogs, the symptoms are shown right away. A lot of dogs have allergies to food that cause problems like itchy skin, red skin, hair loss, yeast infections, and other allergy-related symptoms. And while not all dogs show symptoms like this, they are still being affected. Dry kibble does mean a thirsty dog. A lot of dogs already have the problem of staying hydrated, and with kibble, this makes it so much worse. The dry kibble makes them even more dehydrated. Dry dog food also means more dog poop. There are so many enzymes found in kibble, causing everything to be broken down without much nutrients absorbed. And this might sound strange, but dogs on a raw diet will poop less than dogs that are eating kibble. Their bodies are able to absorb all of the nutrients. So after hearing all of this, you're probably wondering why kibble companies are doing so well and why more vets are not telling you to stop feeding kibble. And there's a couple of reasons. Kibble companies do fund vet schools, so of course those schools are going to be promoting kibble as a healthy option because they're getting money from those companies. Most people don't know this, but kibble companies will send veterinarians dog food for free. It's supposed to be as a gift, but I think some of us could see it more as a sponsorship and definitely an incentive to recommend it to other people. And a lot of vets sell kibble in their office, and of course they are getting a percentage of that sale. So that is just another reason for them to push it. We also need to remember that doctors work in reactive medicine instead of preventative care. Their main job is to fix something when it goes wrong. Medicine is mainly what is studied, not nutrition. And we also need to look back on what's been taught in medicine for humans and animals. Multivitamins used to be pushed a lot, and now holistic doctors are coming out saying that they are false promises. Based on the data that's coming back, a balanced diet will keep you healthier than taking a multivitamin every day. Which brings me to talk about the myth that your dog will be malnourished if not fed a kibble diet every day. And this goes for other animals as well. If you feed a balanced diet, your pet will be healthy, healthier than if you were feeding them food out of a bag every day. We need to get away from this idea that processed food is the only way to get everything that your body needs. We are seeing so much research saying that processed food is not good for humans. So why would it be good for animals? If you eat a balanced diet consisting of lots of different foods, you'll be very healthy. And the same goes for your pet. When you transition your dog to a raw diet, you will see many improvements. Food allergies will be gone, so no more problems of itchy skin, red skin, yeast infections, or other allergy symptoms. Your dog's fur will become much softer and healthier. The smell of their breath improves a lot, and their poop will also be a lot better as well. Like I had mentioned, there is less poop, and there's no issues with constipation that usually comes from eating dry food. And don't forget, it helps them live longer. And there are also many other health benefits. You can help your dog control their body temperature by feeding what is considered cold foods during the summer and hot foods during the winter. It also helps prevent cancer and relieve health problems such as arthritis. It is the best way to provide preventative care for your dog. So going back to what foods you offer when doing a raw diet for your dog, there are a couple of different ways that you can go about it. Another myth is that with a raw diet, everything is raw. Nothing is cooked. And that is not always the case. Remember, when it comes to dogs, raw diet means no kibble. Fresh food, but some of it can be cooked. Meat is the most important part of their diet. Please do not try to make your dog a vegan or a vegetarian. This will not work. Dogs have evolved to eat meat. They need this in their diet. Their bodies require it in order to be healthy, and there are amino acids that can only be found in meat that your dog does need. The only sources that push a vegan diet for dogs have their own agenda, and they do not care about the well-being of the dog. Personal choices of what you decide to eat or not eat should not affect your dog. If you don't feel right feeding a meat product, then please don't get a dog or don't get any type of animal that naturally eats meat. It is not fair to the animal to try to push your own ideals onto them when they don't have a say. The best way to care for an animal is to provide care for them that does not serve your own interests. Grain can also be provided for dogs unless they are allergic. Carbohydrates help with digestion, and they also get certain energies from grains that are not found in meats. Good grains are quinoa, couscous, brown rice, oats, but never corn. Vegetables and fruit are also an important part of the diet. They add minerals and vitamins to the diet. Vegetables help in preventing gas, bloating, and bad smell. Dogs that do not have vegetables in their diet will actually be pretty smelly. Fruits do need to be limited because dogs can get diabetes and kidney issues. Foods do need to be varied every day because feeding the same thing can cause food allergies. If you need help moving your dog to a raw diet, you can actually go over to my website and see the services that I offer. I provide meal plans for dogs and also work with your dog to overcome allergy issues and help guide you through the entire process of transitioning from kibble to a raw diet. In a perfect world, everybody would be able to make this change for their dog, but I do have to say that it is not for everybody because of the time, the commitment, and the money that it takes to do this. Good pet owners do their best to provide their animals with what they can. So if this is not an option for you, there are other packaged food options that are available for dogs that are healthy. I do provide consultations for these alternatives as well. So whether you want to feed your dog a raw diet or you want to find a healthy kibble option, I can help you get your dog started on something healthy. I put out a new video on animals every week, and you can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. See you guys next week. So now I want to show you this brush being used on a long-haired dog so that you can see how well that it does work. I am going to brush my dog first with a regular dog brush. I'm going to brush one side completely until there's no more hair being left in the brush. And then I'm going to go to this brush and use this on my dog to show you how much more hair is still going to be coming off.